If sine of g of x equals x and g of sine of x equals x, evaluate g of root 3 over 2. Now, this is 3.9, which is all about inverses. What this guy is saying right here is if sine of g of x and g of sine of x both equal x, that means these are inverses. So what it's asking me to do is to find g of root 3 over 2. So sine x is equal to root 3 over 2 because g of blah, evaluate g of blah, set them equal to each other. So sine of x is going to equal root 3 over 2. And you might be wondering, whoa, buddy, you sure left a lot of space there. I sure did. Because my job is to evaluate this guy, which means solve for x. Okay, so in order to get rid of that sign, I'm going to inverse sine from both sides. Inverse sine from both sides. That crosses out, and you're left with x equals the inverse sine of root 3 over 2. Now, let's remind ourselves what sine means. Sine is the y value of a coordinate. So usually I give you something like the sine of some angle is going to equal root 3 over 2. Well, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to find the angle that gives me root 3 over 2. So sine is positive in the first quadrant for the both of them. So I'm going to deal with first quadrant only stuff. Okay, this doesn't ask me to do with other stuff, so I'm just going to deal with first quadrant only stuff. Okay, sine of x if I'm dealing with unit circle thoughts, or sine of whatever if I'm dealing with unit circle thoughts, is going to be a y value. Okay, so which of these three dots gives me the y value of root 3 over 2? You do. Okay, and so that's the third dot of quadrant 1. Which means this angle is pi over 3. So the inverse sine of root 3 over 2 is basically saying, hey, the sine of what angle is going to give you root 3 over 2? Well, the sine of pi over 3 is going to give you root 3 over 2. So that's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to solve it. Now, there's other problems that might ask you to go a little bit further than this, but we're not quite there yet. Right now, we're just focusing on quadrant 1, so we're going to answer it like that.